Do Souls-like games need to innovate to keep the genre alive? Going all the way back to 2009 when Demon's Souls first released for the PS3, nobody knew what a juggernaut of a genre it would turn into. From what I've gathered, there's around 50 plus Souls-like games either directly from FromSoft or in, Souls-like genre ever since 2009. That is an insane number. Now, while some may be, slightly different here and there, even some 2D style games, the formula has remained the same. There's another genre that's essentially remained the same for just as long, if not longer, and that's the Ubisoft style open world kind of game. I think we're all kind of sick of it, to be honest, as it's oversaturated the market. I feel the same way about Souls games. Despite my love of them, like Lies of P that came out last year, I absolutely loved. So the question I ask is, does the formula of Souls games need to change or innovate to stay fresh? Or is this one of, the if it ain't broke, don't fix it scenarios? I feel even small changes aren't enough anymore. It sort of feels like the concept is reaching saturation. Off-brand Souls-likes generally have to tack on gimmicks to avoid feeling like something we've already done. And FromSoft seems to have reached a point where they can't even keep new endgame bosses interesting without having them outright cheat, like Melania canceling out, of your rightfully earned staggers and like life stealing through shields. And now that I brought up Elden Ring, people are going to say, but they did change things up. They made an open world Souls game now. Oh joy, it's what I've always wanted. Now, what I'm kind of excited for is the change they're going with for the new Elden Ring like spin-off game, during, with Night Rain. 3-player co-op runs with no PvP, no summons, no invasions, and no messages on the ground telling you, try finger butthole. Now, despite my complaining, these games still sell like hotcakes. The problem for me is the hotcakes are getting kind of stale now. I need something similar, but just different enough and new enough to pique my interest again. A Sekiro 2 or Bloodborne 2 being the exceptions for me, personally. But this upcoming Elden Ring Night Rain sounds like a mix between, Souls games and like Destiny or something. Another thing that I personally feel should change is a bigger focus on story and characters being at the forefront instead of just being, in the lore. I don't want to have to read 1,000 different journals or watch a ton of YouTube videos to understand, anything that's going on. Most of these Souls games I play just for the gameplay and don't really care who or why I'm fighting, someone, because the game barely tells you this unless you really, really dig for it. Sekiro was a bit better in this regard, and even other Souls-like games like Lies of P, I feel handled this better personally. I'm probably in the vast minority on this, however, and that's fine, but I still feel like these kinds of games need something, anything to keep it fresh. I still remember how well, Ubisoft's open world games were for years, but then they became oversaturated, and now it's like a running joke about how all games have towers to climb now to highlight waypoints on a map, and so on and so on. Breath of the Wild did the same thing, and I'm going to be honest, this is a complete contrarian opinion here and a completely off topic. I think it's the worst 3D, Zelda game there is. It was just boring to me. I hated it, but it was huge in popularity. Same with Elden Ring, where everyone loved it. I think it's my least favorite because it went open world. I guess open world is just like, it's still popular, but people still, dog on Ubisoft for doing it. So I don't know. But, no one likes, these games, wants that to happen. You don't want these Souls-type games to fail. I know Elden Ring, like I said, blew up in popularity, with the normies and streamers because of, like, the open world aspect, and it was just, like, the most talked about thing. But to me, Souls games work better in a more semi-linear structure where you progress through sections which unlock shortcuts, to previous areas. I still think Bloodborne is the best game they've made in terms of this, in terms of setting, in terms of, environment, in terms of feel, in terms of how the world was structured. It's second to none. It's the best. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents the whole discussion, which, isn't a lot. But I'm curious what the rest of you think about Souls games. Do you enjoy them? Have they gotten a bit repetitive with how oversaturated they are now? Do you even want change, or are you fine with how they are now and you just want it to continue forever? Let me know in the comments down below. I was on vacation, so this distance between uploads was ridiculously long, but it should go back to a better schedule from now on. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. Leave a like or dislike and tell me what to improve upon. Comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, talk to you later.